Alright, so now in this video we're talking about yoga, spirituality, and what is spirituality to you? What is that power and all that? Maybe you want to start with your experience?
Yeah, very much. For me, I basically never had an experience with this until recently, and it's something that really changed my mind. I used to think, of religions. I have lots of theories about religion. I can keep talking over it and the history of it, and which system of beliefs, and all these theories. And it's been until recently that experience changed my mind about it, and made me realize that like religion and being in contact with God, the universe, yourself, any way you want to call it. There's plenty of names to it. Pick the one you want. For me, it's about knowing myself and finding my place in my life.
I'll share my experience with spirituality and religion. I used to be I was baptized when I was primary 5. I was baptized when I was primary 5. My baptism name is Moses, right? I was baptized as a Catholic when I was primary 5. When I was about 16 years old, I left the church to become an atheist. Means I didn't believe in God. I was so intellectual or like so skeptical or too in my head that I couldn't feel God, and I didn't believe in God. When I was very young, like maybe 5 or like maybe 8 or 10 years old, I could see visions. Like at night I'll see visions, or I could speak in tongues and do this kind of stuff. But as I became more rational, I kind of like let go of that spiritual side of me. So it was only after I went for a course, Miracle Life's course, right? Same course that Josep went to, right? And done by Miranda Hung, right? So over there, I started to feel spirituality again, and I was an atheist for 3 years. I'm very, very skeptical about all these things that are pseudoscience, about psychic, about all these energy kind of things, until I started to understand more. And there was one of the exercise where we were supposed to play like instruments and all that, and I just could feel the whole energy and all that coming. And just like 1 or 2 weeks back, I think I had a spiritual awakening. I was just I just felt so much pain in my heart, like suddenly, like so much pain. And I was looking at the world, at how the world is, and I just felt so much pain that I needed to do something. And my life's purpose, I just felt like I was sent to this world to do something, and maybe to raise the consciousness of humanity, or something along those lines. Because like a lot of people tell me that I'm an evolved soul, like the topics that I talk about at my age is like someone who's like maybe 60 or 70. Like they will never talk about like this kind of like big picture stuff and all that. Like most of my peers are right now are talking about clubbing and girls, and I mean those excite me too, because I'm still a youth, right? But so there's one that I just felt so much pain, like it just pierced through my heart, like in my at about 3 a.m. in the morning. It just pierced my heart, and I was like, it was so much pain. So I believe I was sent to this world just to teach something or to share, which is why every time I share or speak, I feel like I'm in my element. Every time I speak on stage, I just feel like I'm in my element, and like the energy just flows through me, which is why my mission is to electrify the world to fulfill my life's purpose. And to me, business is just a means to an end. Business is just a vehicle for me to spread my message. Social media is just a vehicle for me to spread my message. And I think that is like it feels electrifying, like from the head, like there's a crown chakra and all the way down to the toes. It's not some I haven't comprehended what all this is yet. But we are all spiritual beings before we are human beings. We are all spiritual beings. We are all energy. We are all metaphysical and
This for me was a very hard truth to learn, because I've always been atheist. I think that since I have memory, I never believed in it. Particularly because I used to go to a Catholic school, very strict one. You know, I didn't want to know anything about God. Oh, too bad. And then I became a scientist, so you can imagine even more about, you know, this is a material life. I am just, you know, atoms and all this. And you know, it's funny. To me, it's very funny because most of my girlfriends I had in my life, actually, they are very spiritual. All of them. They always used to tell me, "Oh, Josep, you know, you should learn about this. You know, oh, you know, let's pray for this, or let's go to do yoga, or things like that." I always used to look at them and say, "Bullshit." What you're saying is bullshit. And it was until recently when I was in Miracle Life training. And it was in the middle of the training that I went to share, and I was sharing with the trainer, Miranda Han. And, you know, I shared something with her. And all of a sudden, you know, I look at her eyes. I look, you know, like one to one. And I don't know what was it, but, you know, something came into me. I could feel like all my body electrified.
Yeah.
You know, like something going on me. And I was feeling more than I had felt for most of my life. I don't think I had felt so much since I had memory about it.
Yeah.
Wow, you know, that changed my life and changed the way I see everything since then.
You know, I thought that all this was just pseudoscience and fake until there was once like there was this guy expressing his emotions. You know, he was and all that. He was expressing his emotions. So I put my hand behind his back, alright, and when he reached his what's this called?
The lower back?
Yeah, the lower back, right? When you reach the lower back, right, I could feel a huge tingling sensation, like even without me touching his back, you know. So I thought, is this like maybe it's just you know, like yeah. So I put my hand back up and there's nothing again. I put it down, there's something. Put it back up, nothing. And because I couldn't believe it, I needed to test it like 5 or 10 times before I could. It's like, okay, this is really that it really is a feeling here, and it's not like my mind making it up. And it was very, very strong, you know. And he was like, this Indian man, you know. And so after the whole process, right, of him expressing his emotions, so after I asked him like, hey, just now, like, do you have any back problem or anything? And he told me that he has been suffering for sleep disc for the past 5 years. Sleep disc. So sleep disc is basically when your spine is like that, you know, it sleeps, and that causes a lot of energy to be stuck in there. And I was shocked. Like, maybe it could be a coincidence that just nice I feel that there's energy there when over here there isn't and all that. Yeah. It could be a coincidence. But I think that the data shows that it is not a coincidence, that energy really does exist, and that when we express our emotions, there is energy being put out into the air, and yeah, like, and I know that, and honestly, my greatest fear, and this is something that I every time I talk about it, like it just resonates so well with me. But my greatest fear is that I'll be too powerful, really. Because my greatest fear is that I know that I have a lot of gifts and a lot of I was born with different talent, you know. Like, to some people they say like, is entrepreneurship, like, can entrepreneurship be taught so easily and all that. I believe that there is a talent to that, you know. And like a lot of people ask me what gets me motivated, or what gets me driven, or what gets me out of bed. What really gets me out of bed is the fact that I feel like if I were to not use my full potential, I will be doing humanity a huge disservice. Because like, I was sent here to do something, I don't know what yet. Maybe it's to raise the consciousness of humanity, but I just feel that I would be very, very selfish if I were to not live to my full potential. And it's that kind of power, you know. I like, there was once I felt the power, and my body was like about to be burnt alive already. You know, I could feel like like my body was about to be burnt alive, and I could feel like there's only 10% of the universe's power. And if let's say I tap into the full 100% of, I would probably get killed. I'll probably get killed because I don't think my body, because I haven't been eating very healthy and all that, and I don't think my body will be able to take that kind of pressure. Yeah, and it's scary. It's scary to be powerful because like Hitler was powerful, you know.
A great power brings a great responsibility,
Yes,
as the Spider-Man said.
Yeah, and I don't this, and you can tell I don't say this in a very arrogant or egoistic way. You know, this is my truth, and I, at the end of the day, it's always to serve humanity. It's always to serve the world, and I'm merely an instrument where the energy just flows through me. It doesn't happen by me. All this doesn't happen by me. It happens through me. You know, for example, let's say if I look at Josep and he feels loved, he feels loved not by me. He was not loved by me. He was loved through me. Does that make sense? This is a huge concept. You see, a lot of people think that if I love him, he was loved by me. You are loved by your mother. No, that's not true. You are loved through your mother. Your mother was an instrument for you to love through. I'm merely an instrument. Alright? I'm merely an instrument of the universe. I'm merely an instrument. And I'm not here, I'm not the creator, I'm not the source. I'm merely an instrument. And I think some of you have heard this, I talked about this before, but I'll just share for the benefit of Josep, is that there are 4 levels of consciousness. To me, by me, through me, and as me. Okay, to me is like victim mentality. Oh, this happened to me. Oh, she broke up with me and broke my heart. She broke my heart. He betrayed me. He cheated on me. To me, you know, it's always in victim mentality.
Sounds familiar, yes.
The moment you know that you're in victim mentality, get out of it because it doesn't serve you. It strips the power away from you when you are operating from that space. Because if everything happens to you, then you don't have any locus of control to change things, you know. So that's to me. Then there's by me. By me is a lot of ego. Oh, right now I'm driving a Ferrari and I built this business by me. Oh, your transformation was by me. Oh, you learned this by me. This concept was taught by me. No, you know, if you actually go and look at it, everything happens through you. You know, Einstein didn't invent the theory of relativity. The theory of relativity was already there. He was mainly the instrument that theory could go through. He was the instrument, he was the messenger, he was the experimenter, you know. The Oscar Wilde didn't invent the aeroplane. Oscar and Wilbur Wright didn't invent the aeroplane. Oscar and Wilbur Wright. Okay. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb. It didn't happen by him. It happened through him. You know, the light bulb was already there. It just needed him to be.
And I would like to share something very important for me. I learned about this, which is that I've almost died 6 times in my life. And especially in the last one, when I was in the hospital and my platelet count was at the 2% of the healthy platelet count. So I could have died of internal bleeding at any point. And I was also told that I might be having AIDS, which I did not have, but that was a likely prognosis they gave me. And the thing is that, I tried, in face of the situation, I tried to first, why this is happening to me? Why, this is happening to me. And when you think this way, it's terrible. There's nothing you panic. There's no other way around. Then I moved to think, okay, it might be that, I might be able to overcome it. I have the strength to do it.
Yeah.
The problem is that when you are in... When, we have a question.
Okay, sure,
By audience, can throw.
Nothing.
Can throw. Thank you.
Awesome.
And so I try to fight and fight it back, and I don't recommend. There's nothing. You and powerless.
Everything that's by me is a lot of force. It's a lot of force, which is why right now I never ever say self-help or self-improvement. I always say personal development. Why do I say personal development? Because we do not develop by ourselves. We develop through our environment, through the books that we read, through the mentors that we have. We do not develop by ourselves. That's why I stopped saying self-help, self-improvement. I always say personal development. And there's a difference. There is a difference.
And to me, the only way out of this, being in hospital and seeing that Anna was about to die, the only thought that really helped me is when I said, well, this is happening, happening, and I will go through it. Because that's what, my life is about. And if I have to, I'll do
And he could be an instrument to share, for example, because he has gone through anxiety and all that, he could be an instrument to share about how to overcome anxiety. So all this happens through him, not to him, not by him, but through him. When he teaches how to solve anxiety, it happens through him. Alright. True?
Yeah.
And then there's the next level, the highest level, the fourth level, which is as me. Okay? Not through me, but as me. Means when I share something with you, you share it with someone else, it happens through you. But it happens as me. Means you're sharing to that person as me. Does that make sense?
Wow.
For example, when I share with you about Christianity, I'm sharing with you through me, but I'm sharing as Jesus.
Oh,
So
wow.
at the point and time when I'm sharing this with you, I am Jesus.
Wow.
Sharing this with you. Make sense?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
and if you look at it, all our cells, right now in my cells, I probably have a little bit of one atom of Albert Einstein, one atom of Hitler, one atom of Mother Teresa, one atom of Jesus, because it is in me. Jesus is in me, Mother Teresa is in me, it is as me, you know?
Yeah.
As
you are.
yeah. So that's the highest level of consciousness, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So why were we talking about this before that? Through me.
Yeah, through me as me, as a way of self, personal development.
Yeah.
And
And before that, what were we talking about?
I don't know. And yeah, about energy and feeling.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would like to share.
Oh, it happens through you. Yeah, the
Yeah.
energy happens through you, not by you, but through you.
Yeah, and also, I would also like to share for me one of the biggest impacts for me of feeling my emotions is particularly of feeling my girlfriend. Since I started feeling myself and feeling emotions and feeling energy more, I could feel her.
Yeah.
And this has absolutely changed my life.
True.
Because we are now very connected. When I feel something, she feels it too. And when she feels something, I can feel it in her. And this
Intuition,
makes us so much closer, because when she has a problem, I don't
He
need
has
to
a
ask
very
anymore.
loving relationship with his girlfriend. And you know, when sex is not just physical, but it reaches the intimacy and that spiritual tantric kind of sex.
Yeah.
It's a different.
Yeah,
It's a different
I
level.
promise you, if you try it, you're not gonna go back. Seriously, it's like like you're, usually orgasms last for like a few seconds, at the most, right? I can have. I don't wanna. I'm gonna sound here like super egoistical and showing off, but I mean that's the truth. In my case, I can make it reach far much longer than that. Right now, up to minutes.
Yeah.
And I promise you,
4 minutes.
imagine that. It's really incredible, and your mind is completely blowing up, and you are just full of energy and
And it's possible.
ecstasy.
And it's possible to have orgasms even without sex. It's possible to have mental orgasms. Like you can hypnotize people into orgasms. That's how powerful our bodies and
I would like to share that during that time I was doing some special yoga exercises precisely to get closer to this, right? And then I was called to go on a business trip in Korea, and I just went into this taxi, and all of a sudden this happened to me. I started having an orgasm.
in the taxi.
Yeah. So I was in the taxi, I was in the taxi having the orgasm, and next to me I had these two Korean guys and the taxi driving. Everybody with this sad face looking at and looking at me, and I was trying to pretend that nothing was happening. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, really love more and to me, sex is always win-win. Like it's not always win-win, but sex can be really fulfilling and really win-win. But of course, if it's abused, like anything, if it's abused, like power, if it's abused, it can be very lose-lose or win-lose. If, for example, someone is very psychopathic and like manipulates women into having sex with them, I think that is not fulfilling, and that doesn't serve either parties.
No.
But if we have sex purely to give love, it's beautiful.
Ourselves, our hearts, it's like wormholes. Wormholes is this thing that happens in the galaxy. It's points in space in which you can have either of two things. You can have either a black hole, meaning that, you know, at
Okay,
this
this
point,
is a bit technical.
everything. Yeah, I think it's not technical. So let's make it simple, right? In the sky, there are two types of holes.
Yeah.
There are black holes which suck everything in,
Yeah.
right? And there are white holes which expand out.
Yeah.
Now, our heart is like those. If we just want to get from others and, you know,
become a black
abuse others and get things from others, we are like a black hole.
Always give 51-49. 51% give, 49% ask. Yeah.
And, you know, the more you pull in, the more this big hole is gonna grow.
Yeah.
It's not gonna disappear. It just grows and grows and grows bigger.
Yeah.
And it makes you happier.
And,
the only
no
way
matter
to
how
change
much money
it.
you make, or how much sex you have, or how much you know, drugs you take or what, it just doesn't fill you because it becomes a hole, it becomes a void that you're trying to fill.
Yeah. The only way to get rid of this black hole is not by taking more. It's the opposite. You have to give.
Yes.
So all these things go out of you.
And it's not about giving by you, it's about giving through you. And there's a difference. Because for me in my life, I've had a lot of times where I tried to give things by me. You know, I try to give things at my expense and all that. And it didn't work. But when I give things through me, for example, nowadays when I do coaching or when I give knowledge, I don't give it for free. And the reason why is because I don't give it at my loss. You know, I don't spend time with people at my loss. But I do it through me. For example, if let's say they pay me for coaching or knowledge, they will treasure the knowledge more, and it fulfills me. So it happens through us rather than by me. So there's a difference, and that's why I believe that, for example, any product that you get or anything that you get value from, you should pay for it.
Yeah.
Because that's how the economy runs, and that's how things happen.
I
through.
would also say, try to pay for it.
Yeah.
Because there's no free lunch in this
Yeah,
life,
yeah.
right? So if somebody gives you something, right, you are owing him a favor.
Yeah.
I would rather say better pay for it.
Yeah.
You are both happy, and
Yeah.
nobody owes anything
Yeah.
anybody.
And a lot of people say like, people don't keep track of favors and all that. People do keep track. I mean, you don't have to keep track, but people do keep track. Yeah.
Subconsciously, we all
Yeah.
keep track,
And even know who
we
has
don't-
given more, who has taken more, you know.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that we have to pay them all
Yeah.
off or we have to count for them. However, especially when somebody is, you know, substantially making an effort for you, like in coaching, right?
Yeah.
It's good to pay pay the favor back.
True. Yeah, that's why don't aim to be a person of success. Aim to be a person of value, because when you become a person of value, the success will come naturally. Not once, even before, not once have I thought of making a lot of money and all that. But because I added so much value, the money just comes to me naturally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So, yeah, and just keep loving and Buckminster Fuller said this, you know, you don't belong to you belong to the universe. When you devote your life to the highest advantage of others, the universe will always support you, and only in the nick of time.
Yes.
And only in the nick of time. Why only in the nick of time? You know, I can tell you, right, when you dedicate your life to serving others and to improving humanity and serving humanity, then when you do that, the universe will always support you. You'll realize there's always divine providence. You never have lack. You always have food on the table and all that, you know. But only in the nick of time. Means when your bank account is depleted, that's when you get the most money, you know. And I never understood this concept until I saw two very, very strong case studies where this actually worked. Number one is my mother, right? She has a business. Her business serves so many people. It helps people improve their health and all that. And for business to survive for 7 to 8 years, right? It's not easy. And she has managed to survive, you know. And the bank account is always like that. But somehow, whenever she needs money, she always has investors investing 100k, 200k, and now the turnover every year is like almost $1 million, you know. So when you devote your time, and that's my mom, right? And that's when I realized, hey, maybe this approach to life could be a best approach, you know. And it's so fulfilling. I see her, she's so happy, so joyful. She might not be the richest woman on earth, but I can tell you she's the wealthiest, you know, wealthiest in terms of family, in terms of happiness, etc. Another person I saw is Miracle Life, Miranda Hung, right? Like her business has survived for the past 8-9 years, and it's not easy, you know. And yeah, she has to go through so much.
Yeah.
Which the only reason she will stay on is because she knows she's serving humanity. Yeah. If it's just purely for ego and all that, yeah. So the last thing I want to bring across is that it's not that I'm a saint. I wouldn't want to speak for Josep, but it's not that I'm a saint. I don't think I'm a saint. And I don't think it is about serving others. I don't think, deep down, I don't think it's about serving others. I think that everyone should be selfish. However, here's the thing. I think that we should be selfish, but it's the only thing is that I see myself as humanity. I don't see myself as Alaric. Which means, for example, your right hand doesn't say that, tell your left hand that is two different selves, you know. They all know that they are part of Alaric. And Alaric is part of a community, maybe is part of Singapore, which is part of the world, which is part of the universe, etc. Or Alaric is part of a small community, which is maybe Apollo, which is a part of. The whole is a sum of parts, and the parts are wholes in themselves, right? So I feel that everyone should be selfish. It's just that you should look at yourself as like, now this is myself. The two of us speaking in communion right now, this is myself. The self that exists right now is Alaric plus Josep. There's no Alaric alone or Josep alone. Okay, this is ourself, right? So when I serve him, it's not that I'm doing good to others. I'm doing good to myself. Does that make sense? When I do anything that serves humanity, I'm not doing it for others. I'm doing it for myself because I am humanity. You know, when I stop global warming, I'm not stopping global warming for others. I'm stopping global warming for myself. When I have world peace, I'm not having world peace for others. I'm having world peace for myself because I am part of humanity. And so what I would implore all of you, alright, is that all of you think bigger. Think bigger of yourself. Because if you think of yourself only as you are, as one person, I think that's a very sad life. Yourself is one person. I see myself as a trillion different cells, right? Don't know how many different bones and muscles and all that. I see myself as how many people added together. I see myself as Einstein plus Mother Teresa plus what, all in my brain. I see myself as humanity. I see myself way bigger than I am. And that is what allows me to have a fulfilling life, because I know that whenever I'm feeling down, whenever my business is bad, I ask myself, if Martin Luther King could free the blacks, if Barack Obama could lead the whole of America, if Sun Quan from Three Kingdoms could lead 1/3 of China by the time he was 24 years old, it can't be that I can't even run a small little business. It can't even be that I can't even get over this small challenge. And that is what allows me to play at 10x, 10,000%, 1,000,000% of who I really am. And that's how you assess the true power, when you look at yourself as yourself, not as yourself.
Strength is in numbers. You and humanity are the biggest numbers in there.
And right now, when I'm talking to you right now, I'm in you. Myself is in your head. You are looking at me through you. And that's why I love doing videos and all that for free so much. Why? Because the energy flows through us, and that's when myself becomes bigger, my influence becomes bigger. My means humanity. And that's very, very powerful. It's so powerful how much human beings can be. And that's why it's very important to be spiritual. It's very important. There's this book, Why Every Problem Has a Spiritual Solution. You should go and read it. Almost every problem has a spiritual solution, you know? If you look at it. Why do people suffer? 2 reasons. Ego and attachment. Get rid of these 2 things, attachment and ego, you don't suffer anymore.
And even if you are a scientist, a technical person, an engineer, you know, that it has not a problem with being a spiritual. You know, I myself, I'm doctor in physics. So you can imagine how much spirituality I learned in university, right? Zero.
Metaphysical.
Yes.
Quantum physics. But I do believe that science will one day be able to understand spirituality a lot more.
I think so. I hope so.
And it is biology. You can prove it with science. For example, like when we say like anger, energy. I give you an example. For example, like some people say like, you must express your anger, energy, and all that. Okay, it's like, for example, imagine we want to run. Okay, we saw a danger, we wanted to run, but we don't run. So the adrenaline goes to our legs, right? But because we don't run and we freeze there, the adrenaline gets stuck. When the adrenaline gets stuck, what happens to our body? our legs will deteriorate because of the hormones stuck in our muscles and all that. And so some people call this anger energy. The scientists will call this adrenaline, or some people call it cortisol, the stress hormone and all that. But either way, we need to which is why we need to express the energy and actually run or actually express the emotions so that all this adrenaline will surface out.
Yeah.
And that's how we can be healthy.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. So we can actually explain all this by science.
There's,
It's not just spirituality, woo, hocus pocus. I mean, he's a scientist. I'm a businessman. We're talking about this. Yeah.
And actually there is a nerve going through our spine called the vagus nerve, which actually is related to everything you've explained, right? Is the one that controls all these hormones that we release.
Correct.
And give all these emotions. So it's nothing strange. It's all scientific. And and there's nothing. So, you know, spiritual people put a spiritual names because that's what they knew when they discovered it, you know, hundreds or thousands of years ago, right? Buddha couldn't talk about hormones because he couldn't know what the molecule is. And yet at the same time, what he was saying might be and is actually something very real. So don't get scared by names. I used to be very scared by names myself, I have to say, and that's why I look into it. And there's plenty of scientific base. If scientists don't believe more in this, it's not because there's no scientific base. Usually it's more because they have never been exposed to this kind of experiential trainings before.
Yeah. Absolutely right. Alright, I think we have spoken for quite a while. I hope that has given you valuable content. And the only reason I do videos is because I know that I was going to meet Josep anyway. You know, we were going to talk about all this anyway. But I thought that maybe if I video this down and just one person watches it, just one person, that means that this same information that we are sharing with each other, alright, it gets transmitted like maybe one more time, right? But even just 30 people watch it, you know, that's fine, you know, and that's what motivates me to make videos like that, right? So, but definitely I would appreciate if you could like, comment, subscribe, and press the bell on YouTube to subscribe, or on Facebook, you know, do whatever, share the video, and everything will happen through you and not by you or to you anymore. So I'll see you all soon. I don't know when will be the next video, but cheers.
Bye.
Bye.